Well, this is almost an experiment as much as it is a message. I've tried remounting my phone on a mount that is secured to my dash a little differently than before. And so I'm not real sure how this is going to work. I'm trying to cut down on the vibration in my mount. It looks like that's working, but I'm not sure how the picture's going to be, because I'm pretty far away, or the sound. So, like I say, this is just kind of an experiment, but I thought I'd cover a few things of some importance. So hopefully you can hear me okay. I don't know if I'll have the signal the whole way. I'm kind of out away from a lot of the good cell towers. That's a good thing in some regards. So thank you for coming in. Like I say, this is just a real quick experiment, but a little message at the same time. First of all, uh, I'm really, I'm really happy to see Trump talking about buying Greenland. I know that sounds really odd to a lot of people, but as Alex Jones explained on his show today, a lot of presidents have bought, us a lot of territory in the past, starting with Thomas Jefferson and the Louisiana Purchase, and then we went on from there. So this could be a good thing. I know they're calling him crazy. No, that's not crazy. The crazy part is if he's going to be able to talk Denmark and the people there on Greenland into it. And I think maybe, it would be a lot, not a lot of money. It'd be, well, it is a lot of money, but frankly, I think this is a really key thing. Now, I can't explain why, and I'm not going to, not here, not during this. But there were writings back in the 17 and 1800s that talked about, it didn't say the United States. These writings didn't say the United States, but it talked about having this territory, this land, this force, this land of bounty that would be controlled by a powerful nation that would return to its older glory. And frankly, Greenland could be a key to what that writing might be. Now remember, a lot of these writings I'm talking about were done by these secret societies. And there were good secret societies and there were bad ones. And they were often at war with each other. As I've explained in some of my history series videos, the Revolutionary War was actually between, one of the big factors was between the York Rite and the York Rite Masons and the other one, which I've forgotten right now for some strange reason or other. But at any rate, the Scottish Rite, the war between the Scottish Rite and the York Rite Masons. And some of these secret societies were writing these exposés of what their enemy, the other side, was going to try to do. So anyway, I look at this thing with the Greenland as being a real positive deal myself. I do. Now, I know there are a lot of people that are really, and I've been hard on Trump and I will continue to be hard on Trump. Like this Epstein investigation and the whole mess of what the Department of Justice and the FBI has done to that. And I might add on purpose, and I do still hold Trump and Barr personally responsible for that cluster blank. That cluster, rhymes with truck. I'm going to try not to cuss during this one. All right. That's shameful, and it shows that there are elements trying to cover this thing up still, and they will continue so. Look at all the information that Judicial Watch has brought out, and the DOJ can't find any time to bring charges against any of these people. Yeah, right. Now there's still a big cover-up going on, and I don't want to get into who's behind it and all that. It's just obvious that the deep state needs to be taken out. Seriously. So that's the first thing I wanted to bring up, is I was happy to see this Greenland thing. I might lose you here. I'm going to go past some really high power lines. Let me show you this. You might be interested in seeing this, actually. See if I can turn this around. Sometimes it works, and there we go. You can't see the sunset. Oh well. Bring it back around here to me. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is, I don't know if you were watching Matt Bracken. He's a former Navy SEAL. And a lot of you should know who he is. He's on InfoWars quite a bit. He's written a number of series. His website is the place where you can get his information. And there's really not much there. It's mostly about his books and some of his blogging and that. But it's called enemiesforeignanddomestic.com. You might want to go look at that. Matt Bracken is very proficient. He's been right on a lot of things. And like a lot of other vets, he's very concerned about what he sees happening. Now, he gave this information on this possible civil war that we're approaching. And I know there are people that say, no, it won't happen. But let me explain that regardless of whether it happens or not, you should always be prepared for the worst. And that's the situation with this. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Now, I'm going to quote what Matt Bracken said. It'll probably get me in trouble because I've considered this extremist, even in some circles in the FBI and the DOJ, considered a domestic terrorist because of my stand at Bundy Ranch. I never threatened anybody there or anything like that, but it was because of my stand on what happened there, and also some things in the past on my exposés on the Boston bombing and General Petraeus and a whole bunch of stuff. But at any rate, I need to quote Matt as best I can here, because I think it was really good. He talked about all the problems that are happening. He's worried about this thing that's happening in Portland tomorrow, where the conservatives are going there to exercise their free speech, and of course Antifa is planning on being there with the help of the Oregon Portland state government there to oppose these guys. Now, this thing could turn real bad, but we need to keep an eye on it and not get riled up, okay? But what Matt Bracken said in one portion, it was right towards the end of his broadcast on InfoWars yesterday. I don't know if you can still get it, but this is what he said. He started talking about Gillibrand, talking about that she's going to sign a law if she gets into the presidency. And all of the Democrats want to do this, and even the rhinos do. There are a lot of Republicans that are going for this gun control, extra gun control, infringement on the Second Amendment in the Congress and the Senate. Very bad, very bad. And I blame Trump for this too, because he started down that road with him saying take the guns first and then do due process, his whole red flag support, which has been very bad. That was just opened the floodgates. But here's what Matt Bracken said. He said, if they get into power, or if they decide, even if the Democrats are defeated, but these Republicans and these rhinos and these deep staters and New World Order activists get control and push these gun control laws, especially the part where they go into confiscation. He said something like this. He said, if you push it that far, we know you want to go there. We know you want to take our weapons so that we can't stand against you. Just like what happened in Stalinist Russia and Maoist China and in Pol Pot's Cambodia, and we could name a lot of other places. They take the guns not to protect the citizens, but to prevent the citizens, the people, from being able to resist a tyrannical government. And that's really what the Second Amendment's about, and they try to obfuscate that, of course. So Matt Bracken said, if you try and come and take our weapons, he says, if any of you police officers engage in this, you're no longer my brothers, and God help you. You law enforcement types, you military, if you come and help this confiscation of weapons from our people, especially our well-trained vets, Matt Bracken said, you are no longer my brother in arms, is what he's saying. My brother in support of the Constitution. My brother, in fact, but God help you. God help you. He was talking about there would be, 200 million people out there to stand against them. Well, I think that's probably a little high. Quite high, actually. But the point is that we've told Trump that these people are there to support defending the Constitution of the United States, and like Trump has all these difficulties, but overthrowing him, a coup is not right, number one. Number two, this whole thing with the social media, particularly Google and all its appendages, what it's done, it's really been exposed the last few days. There is no excuse for Barr going forward. And like I've said time and time again, there's no excuse for him not having made an arrest by now. This is ridiculous. Did you see that? Ghislaine Maxwell, or however you say her name, Headlines with a Voice put out a thing the other day, how come they haven't arrested her? How come they can't find her? And it's because they don't want to. And yet we had this situation where she was supposedly seen in this In-N-Out burger in LA, and the New York Post has the snapshot. I mean, come on, the DOJ and the FBI, really, all of this stuff that they use to watch us, but they never go after the really bad people. And I'm not pronouncing judgment on her yet. I think that still has to remain open right now. We really don't know what her involvement was. There's been a lot of accusations and all that. Be careful there, okay? Be careful there. I think that's probably most of what I wanted to say, with the exception of the title of the video for the ending here. I had a lady who was concerned about me not doing my regular uploads anymore, and I explained to her why I wasn't doing that. And I want to make it clear to everyone that this is not a time where we're going to experience unity. This isn't it. If you're Christian, you should know about the parable of the wheat and the tares, and that there would be a division coming, a dividing between those who embrace the law of God in their hearts and minds and those who embrace the order of the devil, okay? And there's nothing that's going to stop that, nothing. So we have to understand that it's going to happen, and we have to choose a side, and we have to use righteousness in that choosing. Now, Alex Jones talks about it, and some other people have talked about it, that there's this division. But I want you to understand that in my view, there is no way that any political figure, not Trump, not anybody, is going to reunite this schism that has occurred in the United States of America. It's not going to happen. The liberal, leftist, communists, not all Democrats are that, but they're predominantly the leftist Democrats, communists, socialists are primarily in the Democratic Party. There's no going back, there's no reconciliation. We're never going to heal that wound again. It's never going to be put back together. So what do we do? Well, say it, but we have to accept. If you believe in God, I believe it's part of God, and I pray side. But you know what? There's an old stage friend of mine. He said, it's when I was studying Hebrew, everyone wants to be right. Very, very few, if any, want to get. So even if we think we're right, we need to keep our hearts and minds open. Have an open heart and a contrite spirit. That means we're susceptible to new understandings. It has to do with repentance and some other things as well. And I don't want this to be a big, spiritual dissertation, but I do want to say that we cannot expect, we can't even hope that this division in our country is going to be healed. I don't believe it's ever going to happen. And I think because of the way things are, we have to embrace this division, and that we are different than they are, and embrace it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's how I view it. Gather with like-minded people. Get ready for what's coming. See, Headlines with a Voice did an excellent piece today on this 19 million acres of farmland that couldn't get planted this year. That's 17 million more than has ever been recorded. And it's because of all this, and I'm sure she means this, that there's this weather warfare that's going on. They're going to try to starve us out and then get us to turn in our weapons. The food will be the tool to get us to turn in our weapons. That and your Social Security payments, your disability payments, If you want to keep getting those, you turn in your weapons. That's going to be how this works, okay? And if that doesn't work, then they're going to go to confiscation. So you got to get yourself ready. Food, water, gold. I hear some people saying, I don't have a whole lot of faith in that, but food, water, ammunition, means of self-protection, like-minded people. With this division happening, find like-minded people and make an alliance with them. Be friends with them and get as many of them together as you can, okay? All right, that's all I wanted to do tonight. I just wanted to put up an experiment. Like I say, this is mounted a little differently this time. I don't know what the sound is like, if it's good or not. And of course, I can't really read your questions, and I apologize for that. Hopefully you all are talking between each other. Okay, I appreciate you being here. I know I'm being very sporadic, but like I said, I don't really want to do this, but when some things happen, I feel like sometimes I just have to make a statement. And in this regard, again, I'm going to close with this. Embrace this division between good and evil, and make sure you're on the right side. And I'm going to end with something you've never heard me say before. I used it in a tweet today, but I'm going to say it. I'm not going to tell you what it means, not tonight. It actually means several things, but I'm going to say it. And what it is this. Hallelujah, El Melech Ni'eman. Al Melech Ni'eman. Trump, I think you better start saying some hallelujahs and end with El Melech Ni'eman. Again, El Melech Ni'eman. I'll tell you about what that is one of these days. You might be surprised. Okay? All right, everybody, I go. Well, thanks for coming. We'll see you.